Is it wrong for me, 21F, to want my father, 51M, as the sperm donor for my fiancé, 22F, and me? How should we handle this? My fiancé, 22F, and I, 21F, have been engaging in some serious future planning lately. We're set to get married next spring, and we both know we want to have kids, so we recently sat down to discuss how we'd like to make that happen. While she's okay with adopting, I have my reservations for various reasons. After much discussion, we concluded that the option that makes us both the happiest is getting a sperm donor. It's incredibly important to me that the baby be genetically related to both of us. Since she's not in contact with her family due to their homophobia, the only way for the baby to be related to both of us is if she carries the child and the sperm comes from my side of the family. This solution allows us to create a biological connection to both of our families in a way that feels meaningful and significant. I'm an only child and have no uncles or male cousins of an appropriate age. The only way we could do this is if my dad, 51M, is the donor. I figured he would be excited to help us have the family we've always dreamed of, and I talked it over with him and he was totally on board. He said he'd let my mom, 52F, know we were planning on adding to our family. Everything is ready to go on our end whenever we decide to start trying. I thought it was a really beautiful way to unite our sides of the family, and I know my dad felt the same, but to my surprise my fiancée was really against it. She laughed at me at first, which confused me because we were having a serious conversation, and then she asked if I was joking. When I said I wasn't, her face immediately dropped. She literally looked disgusted. She said that would be really weird, as our baby would be my sibling, and that she wasn't comfortable with that in any way, shape, or form. My dad has stepped in a bit for her because of the aforementioned homophobia in her family, and has become a secondary sort of father figure for her, which she brought up. She said having his baby felt wrong and incestuous. She said it wouldn't feel like a medical procedure or fertility help, it would feel sexual. That's insane. I don't see how it's different from any other donor, other than actually meaning something to us. I am honestly kind of insulted. This is a rejection of my family as well as me, and the fact that she refused to even consider it made me feel overruled in something that's supposed to include both of us. I can't see myself having a connection to a baby that isn't related to me. It wouldn't be my baby, just a baby I'm taking care of. Even if she says she doesn't feel the same, I think she'd have a hard time with it if it was the other way around and a baby wasn't related to her. This feels like our only option, and she shot it down without considering my feelings. This is really important to me. I'm worried we won't be able to compromise on this, and we'll never have kids, which would be a deal breaker for me. Additionally, this is also the more cost-effective option for having kids. We wouldn't have to pay for donor sperm, which can be very expensive, and we wouldn't have to go through the costly procedures associated with IVF. By using my dad as the donor, we could handle everything at home, saving a significant amount of money. This makes it not only the most meaningful option for us, but also the most practical from a financial standpoint. How am I supposed to deal with this? Update 1. Before I say anything else, I want to say thank you to those of you who responded to me with concern. Someone linked to a page on emotional incest, and it was really eye-opening for me. A lot of people were quick to jump to judgment, so I really appreciate the few who were nice. I read all the comments, was shocked and horrified, and hurt, took a night to process, and then had another talk with my fiancé. Goes nearly without saying that we are taking a break right now while I figure some stuff out. We are still staying together, we still have plans to get married, but are seriously reconsidering kids and putting a lot of things on hold right now for both of our health. She's been a lot more hurt by this than I think I realized when I first posted. I don't want to get too deep into my family's issues, but I'm starting to realize that the way I was raised wasn't normal. I am an only child, but my parents always wanted a big family, like 5 or more kids. Unfortunately, for a bunch of reasons both monetary and otherwise, it never worked out. I think they always imagined they'd have the big family they wanted when I had kids, so they pushed me to do that every chance they got. My mom always says that being pregnant with me was the happiest she was. My parents had no idea that I was considering at-home IUI, and my mom nearly went through the roof when I clarified my plans, among other things we need to discuss. She said she wouldn't have even considered it if she knew I hadn't asked my fiancé if she was completely sure yet. She also thought it was really stupid of me not to consider IVF. Looking back, it was just a really thoughtless action on my part. I understand now that I should have taken more time to think through all the options and ensure everyone was on the same page before moving forward. It's still important to me that a future child either be blood-related or be carried by me. So I think that if we ever have any in the future, I'll be the pregnant one so I can feel that connection. We weren't going to do that at first because I have a really stressful career path, and it would have been smarter for my girlfriend to get pregnant, but I think it's the healthiest option for us. We're not serial killers, cultists, or incest fetishists. At the time, the idea of using my dad as the sperm donor sounded really reasonable to me. I had absolutely no idea that there would be this much disgust and backlash from everyone. The intensity of the negative reactions took me by surprise and made me realize that I need to reevaluate my perspective on this issue. I've decided that the best course of action is to start therapy as soon as possible and to limit my contact with my parents for a while. They mean well and genuinely love me, but I think I need to figure some stuff out on my own and gain a clearer understanding of what's truly best for my future and my relationship. This time, apart from them, will give me the space I need to process everything and make more informed decisions moving forward. Update 2. We are still together. Nobody is pregnant with my father's sperm. In fact, I started therapy soon after the original post, and have now been no contact with my family for 3 months. I realized a lot of my perspective on the issue was caused by some really messed up ideas I was raised with. When I tried to bring that stuff up with my parents and possibly try to start family therapy, they went ballistic. At this point, if we do have donor-conceived kids, my parents might not ever meet those grandchildren. It wasn't a result my fiancé or I could ever have anticipated at the time of the original post, but that's just how the cookie crumbled. Looking back, I can definitely see where all the extremely disgusted reactions to my original post were coming from. I still think the attacks on my personal character were unwarranted. I think that a lot of people won't understand how being raised in a seriously dysfunctional family can impact your thinking until they deal with that themselves. The craziest stuff just felt normal to me. I wish I'd never let my parents get so personally involved in my relationships from the start. TLDR, we did not conceive a child using my father's sperm. We are still together after some time to think about things, and are still getting married next year. I've been in therapy and am out of that family situation now. Comments. Kaleidoscope Paradox. Well, good on you to search for help and try to figure yourself out. I think that more than hate, people were really baffled about your post. It really read as a bad sexual incestuous fantasy. A lot of people even thought that it was a fake post because OS that. At least you're on the right path to take control of your life, the direction you want to take your future family, and your search for healing and sanity. Good luck, op. Please stick to therapy. Take your fiancé too if she wants, and have a good life full of growth.